I am pleased to introduce our guest speaker this morning, Reverend Masanari Yamagishi of the North Hawaii temples of Kamuela, Honoka, Kohala, and Pauwila Honganjis. Being a minister of 4 temples keeps him so busy that although he really wanted to be here in person, he just finished conducting Gotan-e service at one of his own temples, and therefore he will deliver his message to us via Zoom. Reverend Yamagishi is from Toyama Prefecture in Japan and is the 3rd son of a temple family. He received his Tokudo ordination at age 18, enrolled in Ryukoku University, and graduated in 2001. Following his graduation, he briefly worked in the private sector before joining Honganji's International Ministers Orientation Program based in Berkeley, California at the Jodo Shinshu Center. It was there that he met Reverend Blaine, who was attending the Institute of Buddhist Institute of Buddhist Studies. The two became good Dharma friends, which continues to this day. In 2018, Reverend Yamagishi was assigned to the Buddhist Church of Lodi as the resident minister. His responsibilities also included supervising Walnut Grove Buddhist Church. In February 2020, Reverend Yamagishi transferred from Buddhist Churches of America to Hompa Honganji Mission of Hawaii. Following completion of his training program at headquarters and Hawaii Betsuing, he was assigned to the North Hawaii 4 temples effective May 1st, 2021. 1 year has now passed, and he's getting used to being in Kamuela with the support of the Sangha. However, the cold weather there often gets him confused and wondering if he really is in supposedly warm Hawaii. Some of Reverend Yamagishi's favorite things to do are reading books, watching movies, traveling, horseback riding, and screaming loudly for his favorite horse while watching horse races on the internet. When time permits, he is looking forward to visiting all the tourist sites here on the Big Island. Please give a warm welcoming aloha to Reverend Masanari Yamagishi.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes,
can you see my face?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ne? Maybe okay. Ne? Okay. Okay. Before starting my Dharma message, please put your palms together in gassho and share Shinran Shonin's words with me. If my great teacher Honen Shonin was not sent away into a remote province by the authorities, how should I ever be sent into exile? And if I did not live a life of banishment, how could I hope to have the opportunity to convert the people living in the remote districts? These too must be ascribed to the grace of the teaching of my master. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Okay, good morning, everyone. Aloha. Okay. First of all, I would like to say my thankful word to Reverend Blaine and all members of Koda Honganji Mission. Thank you so much for allowing me to join this wonderful service, Gotan-e service of Koda Honganji Mission. As MC introduced about me, I am Reverend Masanari Yamagishi, Minister of North 4 Temples. Unfortunately, I am not in Kona now and cannot attend the service in person today due to my schedule. But I am so happy to be here and now and for this opportunity to give my Dharma message as a guest speaker. Thank you so much. And so, can I share my screen for my Dharma message? Hold on. Can you see my computer screen? If you are okay, please wave. Please wave. It's okay? Okay. 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 So you can see my PowerPoint file on the screen, right? So this is a photo of the statue of young Shinran Shonin at Kamuera Hongaji Mission. So his name is Matsuwaka Maru. So in front of the Kamuera Honganji, there is a park with many cherry blossoms. So I took this photo at the end of January. This is a photo that bud was just bloomed. It is beautiful, right? So when we Shin Buddhist followers hear the relationship between his name of Matsuwaka Maru and the cherry blossoms, we remember young Shinran's poem. When he was at the age of 9, he created this poem. The following in Japanese: 明日ありと思う心のあ桜、夜あぎ嵐の吹かぬ物川。In English, like cherry blossoms are the hearts that tomorrow they think they might. For who can tell? But there may be a tempest in the night. That's so beautiful. So as you know, Shinran Shonin is our founder of Jodo Shinshu, Shin Buddhism. Let me introduce about his life in short now. Shinran Shonin lived a life full of ups and downs and twists and turns. His purpose was just to share the teaching of the Nembutsu for all people. Looking back on his total life, no one else has faced his inner mind as much as Shinran Shonin. When Shinran Shonin was young, he used to be a monk at the Buddhist school in Japan. He was in strict training every day for about 20 years. However, Shinran Shonin was worrying about himself in his mind. Although he kept on training, he couldn't get enlightened by himself. His goal was to be awakened, and his final goal was to save the people. He saw several victims of war and famine before becoming a monk. He strongly wished to save them, but one day he realized that his worries were never gone from his mind, even though he trained and practiced. He decided to go out of the monastery at Mount Hiei in Kyoto, Japan, and find something to resolve his problems. He struggled for a while. He finally encountered his master Honen Shonin and the teaching of the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu. Shinran Shonin failed to be awakened by himself, but he was saved by Amida Buddha and awakened finally. This is a Shinran Shonin's life story in short. So for now on, I would like to talk about one well-known fairy tale story about a running race of a rabbit and a turtle. Here we go. So once upon a time, there lived a rabbit and a turtle. They were neighbors, but were not very good friends. One day, they quarreled because the rabbit began to make fun of the turtle, saying, "Oh, you are so small and have such a tiny tail. Why do you always carry your house with you?" Ha ha ha. The rabbit laughed at the turtle. Then the turtle said to the rabbit, "Why do you have such long ears and such red eyes?" Ha ha ha. Each of them thought he was better than the other. Finally, they decided to have a race from the place where they were to the top of a big hill to see who was the better of the two. So the race started. The rabbit ran so fast, he looked like an arrow. The turtle moved ahead slowly, step by step. The rabbit ran and almost reached the top of the hill. He thought, "Let's see, where is that turtle? Oh, I can't see him." He looked for the turtle through a telescope. Then he saw the turtle. The turtle was moving forward one step at a time and was still at the foot of the hill. "Ha ha ha," laughed the rabbit. "If he wants to come this far, it will take him 2 days." The rabbit was very confident of his success. He felt a little tired, so he laid down in the shade and fell asleep. He slept like a log. Meanwhile, the turtle was going on step by step, and finally, he passed the rabbit and reached the top of the hill. He won the race. When the rabbit woke up, the turtle gave him a smile and waved from the top of the hill. So I guess all of you know this story very well. But actually, this story has a sequel. The turtle became very proud of himself. He was stuck up. On the other hand, the rabbit was very unhappy. After a few days, the rabbit suggested another race. The turtle accepted, and the second race started. This time, the rabbit ran fast and didn't stop. He reached the goal quickly and won the race. On the other hand, the turtle moved little by little. But it was a hot day, and soon he felt tired. He was so sure the rabbit would repeat the mistake he had made before. So he decided to take a little little rest. So he restarted and then went on. As the goal came into view, the turtle was happy to see that the rabbit was not there. But after he crossed the finish line and looked around again, he noticed a sign nailed to a nearby tree. The sign said, "You are a stupid turtle. Slow ones have to keep up in their efforts." So this is a story about their return match. This story teaches us about the attitudes men have about the circumstances of their lives. We can see 4 different attitudes in the story. The following. First, a person born with a good mind who makes an effort and becomes very intelligent and learns a great deal. He begins with an advantage, a plus, and increases his advantage, another plus. An example of this was the rabbit in the second race, a capable being doing his best. Second, a person born with a good mind who doesn't make an effort and learns very little. He begins with an advantage, a plus, but ends with a disadvantage, a minus. An example of this was the rabbit losing the first race, a capable being not doing his best. Third, an average person who is not willing to work hard and learns nothing at all. He begins with a disadvantage, a minus, and ends with a disadvantage, another minus. An example of this is the turtle in the second race. Fourth, an average person who continues with best efforts and goes a long way. He begins with a disadvantage, a minus, and ends with an advantage, a plus. An example of this is the turtle in the first race. So now I want to talk about Buddhism using these examples. First is the rabbit in the second race. To begin with, there was Shakyamuni Buddha, who was a highly gifted man. He became enlightened through his own efforts and spent his whole life helping others. Second is the rabbit in the first race. After he came many disciples who achieved enlightenment but were not able to help others on the path to enlightenment. Third is the turtle in the second race. Many centuries later, we find that most of the followers of the Buddha, even the priests who were supposed to be leaders, were only average men incapable of reaching enlightenment. They did no good in the world. fourth. Fourth is the turtle in the first race. Finally, we come to Shinran Shonin, who felt strongly that he was an ordinary man, but who used to what ability he had so well that he helped many people. Even when he was persecuted, he found ways to help others. So this story tells us something we must learn to do also. When a new movement of the Nembutsu teaching by Shinran Shonin and his master Honen Shonin was getting popular among the people in Kyoto, Japan, the priests of the old school began to become jealous. This jealousy was getting higher and higher, and finally, Shinran Shonin and Honen Shonin were exiled to Echigo and Tosa, respectively, in 1207. However, both Shinran Shonin and Honen Shonin thought this exile was not punishment, but a good opportunity to spread the teaching of the Nembutsu to many people. Shinran Shonin said the following: if my great teacher Honen Shonin was not sent away into a remote province by the authorities, how should I ever be sent into exile? And if I did not live a life of banishment, how could I hope to have the opportunity to convert the people living in the remote districts? This too must be ascribed the grace of the teaching of my master. At every time, Shinran Shonin made good out of the bad situation. How about our lives nowadays? Since the year of 2020, we have been facing some difficulties due to the pandemic. Many temples have been closed for a long time. Our daily lives have changed a lot. However, we are able to get some new chances and situations against this pandemic. Some ministers and members told me that we had a lot of chances to listen to several ministers' Dharma message through online services, to take some online studying session by Zoom. Our family and relatives who live on the mainland or in Japan are able to join in and listen to some memorial services and talks, the online services. So today we have Gotan-e service, the celebration of Shinran Shonin's birthday. Even though Reverend Kawagoe, Minister of Hamakura Four Temples, resigned the ministry in April and went back to Japan in May, sadly. Hawaii District have another wonderful ministers, such as Reverend Blaine in Kona, Reverend Takahashi and Reverend Kamuro in Hiro, Reverend Tomioka in Puna, and me, Reverend Yamagishi in Waimea. What a cool and handsome we are! I believe our future is bright. We should learn that some difficulties are another opportunity to learn and spread the Nembutsu teaching as Shinran Shonin did. So thank you for listening to my Dharma message. Let's conclude with the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu. So please put your palms together in Gassho and recite the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Aloha. Mahalo nui loa. And let me stop share my computer screen.
Thank you for your message, Reverend Yamagishi. We love your illustrated photos to enhance your message to us. Thank you.
Thank you.